importance is that what does it mean to be good? Because we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created man and placed us in this world in order for us to be good, to become good, to test us in whether or not we are good. So how do we define good? Well, of course, as in some previous talks I've mentioned, one of the first criteria for being good is to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be a believer. I'm not going to repeat those talks, but we want to build on that. But let's take it now for granted, or based on what we said, that being good is contingent on being a believer. So now, how should one be a good believer? What does it mean to be a good believer? Allah says in the Quran, وَلَيْسَ الْبِرَّ بِأَن تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقَى. Good, being good, does not mean that you enter into houses from behind. Rather, being good is having taqwa, fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. Enter into houses from their doors. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. And fear God, have taqwa so that you may be successful. What does it mean? Why does Allah want to explain here? This is referring to a custom that the Arabs had in the Jahiliyyah, where during the time of Hajj, when they wore the ihram, they would say, you're not allowed to enter your home anymore. Then to go around that rule that they themselves made up, they said, okay, if we climb the wall instead of going through the door, then we're not really entering the house. So this way we can circumvent this difficult rule, which we also had made up ourselves, by the way. But this was the philosophy, and Allah says that, well, this is not being good. Enter through the doors. Being good means having taqwa. Why is he saying that? He wants to say that being good is not just simply abiding by certain rituals superficially. That doesn't make you a good person. Have this sort of superficial, okay, I did sort of what I was supposed to do, and that's enough. No. And we have many, many other verses in the Quran as well about that. For example, about those who broke the Sabbath rules, trying to circumvent it, superficially following it, but breaking it in its essence. Now Allah cursed those people, and many other verses. But Allah keeps repeating that it's not about doing the apparent, it's about what's in your heart. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقَى. Being good is having taqwa, what's inside you. And Allah, of course, wants to test that. Being good is not just doing the rituals emptily, saying salawat loudly, or attending the programs in the mosque, or I don't know, doing latmiya or sinas and whatever, etc. Or these sort of things, empty rituals without having anything inside. Now I'm saying not saying those rituals are empty, but doing it in an empty fashion. Of course, those rituals are good. However, when they're accompanied by what's inside, when they are a result of what's inside, when they are the fruit of the tree which has the roots inside one's heart. If it's just empty rituals, then it is of no use. And of course, Allah emphasizes this constantly in the Quran. وَاذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ فِي نَفْسِكَ تَضَرُّعًا وَخِيفَةً. Remember Allah in your own self, with fear, with humility, and in secret, وَدُونَ الْجَهْرِ مِنَ الْقَوْلِ, and without proclaiming it loudly. Meaning, you don't need to be ostentatious. You don't need to proclaim very loudly how much of a believer, or show off to others how much of a believer you are. What's important is that it's inside you. Yeah? Again, we're not saying that it's bad to say salawat, for example, loud. No, we're saying that if this is not coming from within, if it's just about doing empty rituals, then it's of no use. And Allah does not want that. He wants what's in the heart. And that's why He tests us, to bring out what's inside the heart. Allah says in the Quran, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You will never be good until you give from that which you love. Yeah? Not just, okay, I give in charity those things which I don't need. You know, the old clothes that I haven't worn in 5 years that I don't think probably anyone even wants. I give these to charity. No, about what I like, what I care about. I give this to other people. This is about testing, what do I love more, Allah or the world? And Allah wants to bring that out from inside our hearts. In Surah Al-Balad, Allah describes this very beautifully, saying, لَقَدْ خَلَقَنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We have created man into hardship. We have placed him into a life full of difficulties. أَيَحْسَبُ أَنْ لَا يَقْدِرَ أَحَدٌ. Does he think that no one has power over him? يَقُولُ أَهْلَكْتُ مَالًا لُبَدًا. He says, I have spent much in wealth. Yeah. Thinking that that's what's important to Allah, that the amount of euros that I've spent. And that's what Allah looks at. How many euros did you manage to give in charity in your life? Like an accountant. No, that is not how it works for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, أَيَحْسَبُ أَنْ لَمْ يَرَهُ أَحَدٌ. Does he think that no one sees him? Does he think that Allah does not know what's inside his heart? That actually he loved the dunya far more than he loved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was only spending of that which he could afford to give away, which he didn't need. أَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ عَيْنَيْنِ وَلِسَانًا وَشَفَتَيْنِ. Did we not give him eyes and a tongue and two mouths with which he could see the reality, with which he could speak the truth? وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. And we showed him the two paths, the path of righteousness and the path of folly. فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْعَقَبَةِ. But he did not go through the difficult path. He did not travel that uphill road, that tight crevice. He did not attempt to go through that. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَةِ. How would you know what is the aqaba? What is that difficult path that Allah is intending here? فَكُّ رَقَبَةٍ. It is about freeing a slave. أَوْ إِطْعَامٌ فِي يَوْمٍ ذِي مَسْقَبَةٍ. It is about giving food to others in the day of hunger, when you yourself are hungry and in need. You give to others and take them into consideration. يَتِيمًا ذَا مَقْرَبَةٍ أَوْ مِسْكِينًا ذَا مَتْرَبَةٍ. Feed the orphan who is of relation to you. Feed the poor person who owns nothing but the dust that he is sitting on. ثُمَّ كَانَ مِنَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Then he will be from amongst the believers after he has done that. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْمَرْحَمَةِ. Then he will be of those who encourages others to patience and encourages others to help. So being good is about prioritizing Allah and the akhirah over everything else. About being kind towards the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not only when it's convenient, but when it's necessary. And I don't say these things to scare us and think, okay, only after you've done this do you become a believer, and only then you're a good person. No, but obviously in the sense that we should try to improve ourselves. If we want to achieve that which we should be able to achieve in this life, these are important reminders. Being good, being truly a good believer is not just about doing the rituals of Islam. It's not just about doing it when it's convenient. It's about living it completely and wholeheartedly, about dedicating ourselves 100% to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide us, will bless us with the blessing of being from amongst the truly good believers. ببركة الصلوات على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. السؤال المهم